Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Wilson, and I'm just bringing to you tonight investments and finance in Ukraine. We're brought to you by Toloka Studio. I want to thank them for putting this on for us. It's been a month since I have seen you. I have actually been on a business trip in quite a few places. I had to travel over 30,000 kilometers in 3 weeks. So I was doing a lot of flying, and it did kind of tax on me a little bit. It's a lot of jet lag that I had to catch up with. Anyway, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of things that were developed while I was out traveling about. And it really opened up some doors here in Ukraine, which I'm really excited about. We won't get into that too much today because I have a new guest that I'd like to introduce to you. And of course, we're going to continue our conversations on Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, how it's affecting our lives here, and what we can hope for in recovery, and things like that. How things have changed from February 24th in that first month to how even Kyiv is today. So we're going to be talking a lot about those things. But the investment is something that never sleeps. It doesn't matter what is going on around you. It's something that's important in our lives when we want to be good stewards of our money, and we want to grow, and we want to take care of our future. And so that's what Andesite Blue is all about. Andesite Blue is a company that I own. I'm partner with Ben, and we have developed this company and designed it so that we bring money from around the world and invest it here in Ukraine in different projects such as green energy, agriculture, green energy such as solar and hydro energy and things like that. We also will be dealing with the natural gases and different products that makes Ukraine energy independent. And that is one of Zelensky's goals. I know that even Poroshenko was set to do that as well. He was looking to become more independent. But I believe I've seen more action and more passion from Zelensky to actually really go strive for that. And, if you look at the news now, you can see that Ukraine is selling energy to the countries around us, which is into Europe, which is absolutely fantastic. So it's just a good start and a good way for us to become energy independent. And so as Andesite Blue, that's some of the things that we like to invest in and to promote and really take part in bringing the new technologies, new IT services and programs and controls and things like that to make it much smoother, make the growth much easier, and to move forward. There's no secret, that we're still in the middle of a war. This is a barbaric, meaningless war. This is just really just showing, unfortunately, who Russia is. It's a Russia that I saw when I was growing up as a kid. It was the Soviet Union at that time, but it was still controlled by the same people. Ukraine was kind of a pawn in that, along with Poland and Lithuania and Slovakia and all these other countries, Pakistan and all these other countries that were part of the Soviet Union. They were consumed by it, but the controlling factors of it were the barbaric nature of the people who are now attacking Ukraine with no cause, with no reason whatsoever. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to know that families are being broken and torn apart. I mentioned about a guest that I had on a month ago that they escaped from Kherson Oblast. They were in occupied territory, and she and her daughter escaped, but her husband could not. Actually, he got captured. And we talked about that evening, and I do have an update. I actually talked to him today. He's doing really good. They didn't know who he was, so they kind of said, you have to report to us. They can live within the city, but you have to report to us on a weekly basis, every 5 days. And he found a way to get out from under that, and so he is, he's still not in the free territory. He's still in the occupied area, but he's managed to be able to stay under the radar there. So I'm very thankful for that. It was good to see him smiling, talking to his daughter, talking to his wife, and things. It was very encouraging, and we still hope for him and hope for his coming out and making it here to Kyiv. I know he is, he's a good man and a military man, and he's a defender of Ukraine, and he's, a devout man, not only just a hero, but a very patriotic man. So, anyway, without any further ado, I would like to introduce to you Natalie Geri. She is our guest this evening, and we are going to be talking about her life and how it's impacted her, and then we're going to collectively talk about the changes that we're seeing right now going on within Kyiv. So, Natalie, thank you for coming, and welcome. We'll just talk like this. So, just take a little moment and introduce yourself and who you are, what you do, and what's going on in your life before and a little bit now.
Well, I'm Natalia. I'm Ukrainian, and my last name you said Geri, but actually I'm Geri.
That was my American mistake there. That's how we would see it. Okay, it's Geri. Okay.
Yes, Geri, and I'm a musician by my diploma.
Very good.
Yes, but lately I spend all my time. I speak with children, young generation, in English because I love English and I would like to learn more and more. That's how I met you.
Yes, coming to my speaking
in
clubs.
My searching to learn more, to know something about Americans, not only Americans, native speakers, English native speakers. And I live in Kyiv. I have my trio. This is a musical group.
Okay.
I organized with my friends 10 years ago, actually. In February will be 10 years ago. But we can play only some small periods of our life, time after time.
Yeah.
They have a little daughter. She's my goddaughter. So they are my family, I can say.
What do you play?
My instrument is kobza, bass. And this is domra, kobza prima, kobza bass, and my friend Vitaly, he plays philharmonica.
Harmonica?
Yes.
The harmonica?
No, it's accordion, but bottom accordion.
Okay.
Bayan.
People know it's all buttons, right? It's all buttons,
yes. All the buttons. And we play different kind of music.
The third person?
His wife, she plays kobza prima, and I play kobza bass.
Okay, those are Ukrainian terms that I'm not familiar with.
It's something new for you.
Yes. Well, you'll have to come over to my place sometime.
For sure, and we should play.
And I'll play my saxophone with you guys and have a good time.
So we are practicing again. I cannot say that it's... never people can say that war is something good. But because of this war, people from abroad are interested more about Ukrainian culture, about Ukrainians. So we got some invitations to come and play, in Estonia, in Germany.
Okay, wow, okay.
In Lithuania, and in Poland.
Now I know
maybe in Poland.
You also introduced me to Helen.
Helen, she's my friend, she plays flute,
Yeah, she's a flautist.
She had to go away.
And she's in Ireland right now. And but I remember her coming and playing her flute at the Christmas party that we had. And she also has a passion to create a cultural music, and also not just music, but also like dance and performance to take around. She wanted to reach out kind of to Ukrainians to keep the culture of Ukraine within Ukraine so that the young generation gets the feel of the music and the culture of Ukraine.
Yeah, because I think we have really rich culture.
You do.
I love Ukrainian culture. I love Italian culture. That's why I think Italian language and Ukrainian languages are similar. Yes, melodic way. Yeah.
Oh, melodic. Okay, in a melodic way.
In a melodic way.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah. So now you, but I didn't know you too much as a musician until later because you came to the English speaking
club. Yes. So that's mostly what we speak about English.
I knew about your English students because you always would come to me. How do you say this? What does this mean?
I'm a student.
You're a student and teacher at the same time.
Same time.
And which was fun. I was impressed that you had such care for your students. That you wanted to do it right.
I love them. I don't have my own children. That's why I have energy to give love to others.
There you go.
Yes, I have groups. I think that for youngest, it's much more interesting to spend time talking to same age, to their friends, and learn English not the way I did, not the way my friends did, because I love English, but some of my friends, they hate it. They said, "Oh, it's so I don't want it. It's too difficult."
There's a difference. There's practical English and there's book learned English.
That's true.
All the schools teach book learn. It doesn't matter what language,
Doesn't
whether
matter
it's German, whether it's French, Spanish, English, Russian. I mean, in America, we didn't really have a lot of Ukrainian classes, but you can learn Russian, you can learn German, you can learn French, you can learn Spanish. Some of the real core languages out there in the world, and it's called book learn, which you can't use it. It's not practical.
Yeah.
And it's not how a child learns.
It's true.
So you lose the essence and you lose the passion for it. It's like boring, and then when
grammar must be. You need to start grammar not from the books.
Correct.
When you're 2 years old, you need just mommy's talking to you, your friends talking to you. That's what I'm giving to my students, because I'm not professional English teacher. That's why. If I was professional English teacher, I think I could find the other job, right? But because I love it's my hobby, I have this interest to give them these impressions, this feeling that English is easy, it's interesting, and I can talk about sky, the sun. We can sing songs. It's interesting for me.
It's interesting for them too.
It's interesting for them
Exactly. And if you have that passion, it actually transfers to the children.
1 month ago, I organized with one cafe the practical English lessons. So I had no opportunities to do it. I had no kitchen. I didn't have even good bathroom there. So in that cafe, we organized practical English lessons. So we had already four practical lessons. We made pizza, delicious quattro formaggi pizza. With my students, it was practical. We worked with pizza dough.
So they get to learn dough, how to knead the dough, and everything.
They had to learn all the ingredients and all the process of cooking, and then each of them took the large pizza home, or they ate in cafe. Then we had burgers, and we had also cupcakes. And French crepes. Ukrainians know as mlynci.
Okay.
Crepes.
Crepes are fun, though. I like
Actually,
crepes.
it's good for me because I learn more vocabulary.
Yes. As you teach, you teach and you also learn. Yes, that's very good.
You're welcome too.
Oh, thank you.
I will teach you.
That was actually that's very clever. I also try to bring in emotion in my speaking clubs.
Speaking clubs,
it's not always easy because everybody has their own wannabes topics, and so it depends on if I have more men or if I have more women will determine which way the conversation will go.
Sure.
If it's more men, it's always military, politics, machine guns and tanks and things like that.
And if I'm there, we are joking.
Yes, and if it's more women, then it's more personal things and feelings and emotions and relationships, So
emotions, it's the most important for women.
Well, and that's why women can remember things better than men, because they attach words and events to an emotion, and an emotion you never forget. It's like.
That's why I cannot imagine. I'm so sorry. That's why I can't imagine how the women are military. Can be military. I cannot imagine they are there. I mean, on the war.
It's not easy. I mean, men or women, but because we process things differently.
Sure.
Men can shut things out. Women cannot. They take everything in and then they feel everything.
And they feel it immediately.
And so the overwhelming, and I can imagine the PTSD is going to be tremendous and really heavy, especially when the war is over and we have all of these people coming back into civilian life. Yarmaz was one of my first guests on this show here after the full-blown war. And I work with them. I volunteer with Yarmaz, and that was their main focus originally, was to create an environment to bring military personnel and to help them to assimilate into the civilian life. So they provided opportunities of work, like learning the computer skills, all different types of skills. But they also did dance. They had I did the English. So we had just all kinds of programs. But they also had psychologists and sociologists on staff. And because you have these men, they some of them are missing limbs, and just the emotion, just that the cold sweats, the fears, the things that trigger our emotions and our fear from sound, and things like that. We're gonna have to deal with that, in a big way when the war is over.
When the war is over, yeah.
Now I do have a plan. So.
Share with us.
Yes. So this plan is on Victory Day. So on the day of victory, and I had a dream about it. No, I don't. But I had a dream about it a few days ago. I did have a dream about it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was, all the Russian soldiers were marching off our territory. Yeah, they were unarmed because they were ordered to march off and go back into Russia. The whole thing, and that was my dream.
And we are kind. We let them go. I mean, Ukraine.
Well, actually, that's good. On the Geneva, we do that. It happened in World War II. We do that. We give them once they surrender, surrender their arms, and then we let them send them back home. Yeah. They'll go back to their civilian life. So, but anyway, so on Victory Day, the plan. So for one whole week, every evening will be a celebration at my home.
Okay.
And I'll rotate the people.
Am I invited?
Of course.
Good.
Yes, you and your boyfriend are invited, and everybody who's will coming back to. Yeah. So it's for every night for one whole week. It's going to be a celebration because it's going to be a well-deserved. And I know a lot of our military personnel, and I'm going to be inviting them. They're our heroes, please. And so we're going to shower them with warmth and love, and because of their work,
definitely,
and keeping us free.
I'm going to do it.
And so that's my plan on Victory Day, and then for one full week, every night, every evening, will be a celebration. So I'm looking forward to that day.
You need to buy bigger apartment, Mike.
Well,
we have too many people
60
want
on
to
Christmas.
Celebrate.
We had 60 people, and they fit. But that's why I did it every night, because I'll have to rotate the crowd and stuff. So I can't have 1,000 people in there.
Okay. Good plan.
So back to you. I'd like to go back because you had a kind of a vibrant life before February 24th.
Yes.
You had a birthday on February 23rd.
That's true. Yeah, I cannot tell you. It was feeling 5 years before my 35th birthday, or maybe more than 5 years. I knew that when after my 35th birthday, something will happen, something that will change my life.
Wow.
I thought that in that year I'm going to marry or have a child, maybe third child, maybe second child, or I don't know, maybe.
Well, you have to have the first one first.
I knew, but it was like 6 years ago, maybe even 10 years ago. I knew that my life is going to change after my 35th birthday. I don't know, it was feeling for a long, long time.
Wow.
But usually we are dreaming about something good.
Yes.
I didn't know that the morning after my 35th birthday,
you're going to get woke up by your father.
I'm going to wake up. It was my boyfriend's father, Tim. Yes, he opened the door with his own key. He woke us. He couldn't call us. He couldn't
reach us.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was like a new year that you cannot reach anyone to congratulate. But we couldn't call anyone, and he opened the door he was screaming, shouting like, "It's war! It's a war!" But people were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it can happen, but it cannot be like real full.
Right. You thought it would be like Donbass. It would be some little things here.
I thought that something will be more bad situation happens there, in our east side of Ukraine, but not here. It's like, but it's also selfish. It's this how people lived. War started many years ago, 8 years ago.
8 years ago, yeah.
But get used to it's something going on there, but still life is going on.
It's not affecting us.
it had to happen, because it cannot be like that one part of Ukrainians are in the damage all the time. And I have friends from Donbass here in Kyiv, and they told me that they cannot see the fireworks, they cannot hear it, even thunderstorm.
Yes.
And now we have the same. The last days we have this weather with the thunderstorms, and you don't know what's going on. Is it the weather or evil? So yeah, and he opened the door, and he was screaming, shouting, and I didn't believe in the moment. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I told them, please, why are you waking up after my birthday us in this way?
Yes.
You are panicking. Nothing bad is happening. Don't shout, don't scream. But when I realized that it's not it's not just his emotions or something. It's happening.
It was real, yeah.
Yes, for 4 days I felt like one day and it will be over. 2 days and it will be over. 3 days and I wasn't crying, but the fifth day of the war, I couldn't stop crying. I started to cry from the early morning. We couldn't go somewhere in the basement. We didn't have the good, organized. I didn't have the subway station close to my building.
To be able to go under.
So we couldn't go there in the basement, because I was afraid that if something will happen, that I will be stuck there forever.
On the bottom, yeah.
So for 5 days, 4 days I was okay. 5th day of the war, I had all day crying. And then my boyfriend told me, okay, let's go to your hometown. And I live in Kryvyi Rog. And my boyfriend didn't know that Kryvyi Rog, it's Dnipropetrovsk region, and it's the closer neighbor region to Khersonskaya, Zaporozhskaya Oblast, to Donetskaya Oblast. And but he told me, okay, let's go to your hometown, to your parents, so you will be safe. And no taxi, no public transport, nothing. So we took our parrot in the cage, all our stuff and instruments. My instrument, his guitar, because he's a musician too. We wanted to we'll organize some concerts there in Kryvyi Rog for military, for doctors. I wanted also to go to some hospital to play, but they told us everything is just fine. Everything is just fine. And when we had really a long trip to my hometown, we were waiting more than 8 hours, 9 hours at the train station without light. And then the big crowd. It was too crowded in the train, and then the train was changing the direction all the time.
Well, they were all going west.
Yeah, they changed all the time the directions, and then 3 hours before we arrived to my hometown, not far from Zaporozhye, they told us we don't go to Kryvyi Rog, so you need to get off,
and then find a way down there.
So we went. The rain started, so it was really stressful.
This was the end of February, right? What day?
It's the beginning of March.
Beginning of March, yeah. So there's still winter.
It was cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's winter. It snowed.
Well, actually, it was not snowy weather. It was just rainy
But it snowed
weather.
shortly after that.
Yeah.
It snowed
after that.
with a couple of weeks after the.
But actually, it was good winter. I mean, it was.
It was mild compared to
yeah.
what we could have. Yes.
So we had to stay one night in Nikopol. Actually, now there lives my aunt. She lives in Nikopol, and now it's disaster happens there. It's just disaster. Each time they go to the riverbank from Energodar, they put their I don't know even the names of these military weapons. I don't know what they are using. So they are just destroying the other bank where she lives. So she needs to go, deeper.
Somewhere from the river,
from the river to, and now she moves to Kryvyi Rog, because Kryvyi Rog actually they are controlling our men. Thanks to them, they put so many good help, Mike.
Blockades.
Some kind of blockades.
Yeah.
So we know that army will not get
cannot
there.
move through there.
But no one can handle. Well, they can handle, but no, not all of them. The missiles, we cannot handle.
You can't stop those, right?
Stop them. Yeah.
Blockades don't stop missiles.
So we stayed in Kryvyi Rog more than 1 month. Helped with some volunteer work, but actually
building nets.
Building. Yes,
Yeah, putting together nets.
Building nets, helping in some way. But actually, 1 week I couldn't do anything. I was, I don't know, it was stressful after coming back from Kyiv. But thank God everything. Life in Kryvyi Rog was just fine. But still, people cannot live the same life. It's not possible to be calm, in happy mood when the war is outside. Yeah.
Now you came back. You were gone for 1 month, approximately, and you came back in April, correct?
Yes, in the beginning of April, 11th of April.
Now I got back in March. I also I left the 1st of March and came back in the middle of March. So I took my daughter and her mom to the Carpathia, and got them in a safe place. And I'm very thankful. I had Caritas, the director here of Kyiv, on one of my guests, and I'm very thankful for Caritas. Oh my goodness, they just take care of everybody there. There's just no questions, I mean, these are refugees within your own country, Yeah. But they're safe, and so I did. But I came back in the middle of March. But about that same period, when you came back in the middle of April, it was still pretty much empty.
Yeah.
The blockades, you couldn't really drive straight through the streets. There wasn't really no cars. There was very few vehicles moving around, and even when I took a taxi to go somewhere, I was always going through checkpoints.
Was working.
Yeah,
Uklon was working. Thank God. Yeah. So we took taxi.
Yeah, no, there was no metro, because the metros were being occupied by the occupants in there to stay safe. So the metros were closed.
Yeah.
And they opened up. I don't know exactly when they opened up, but it was probably a couple months.
In May. I guess
it was in May, so it was a couple months. Yeah. So. Almost the 3rd month, and but so everything was just super quiet.
You did some volunteer work, I know, here too.
I did what I could. I helped to train with the territorial defense. I got together with some of the Marines, Ukrainian Marines, to see if I could help them out and work with them, and then of course. Weaving nets, putting the camouflage in the nets and stuff. So that was.
I was so happy that you wanted to learn some Ukrainian songs.
Yeah, I still, I'm not very good at it. I still want to. That ubi mi mini, ubi mi mini. Yeah, I wanted to learn that one. The song means a lot to me. Also
You played also it on saxophone.
Yeah. So, saxophone's easy for me, because I've been playing it for most of my life.
Music is an international language.
It is. There's no. It doesn't matter what I could play anywhere in the world. It's the same.
It's true.
It's its own language. So that is my second language, English and music. Those are my 2 languages.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So, but your teaching kind of reduced dramatically.
When the war started, of course, all the parents, they need to protect children.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly all of them, because my students are from 2 years old till 10, as I told you.
Mm-hmm.
And the students, they left Kyiv. Only one boy with his parents, they stayed in Kyiv.
Mm-hmm.
But all others, they left, and I was really, surprised that youngest children, 4 years old, 5 years old children, they had some emotional problems. More problems than even oldest.
So the 4 to 5 year olds
for 7 years old children, it was like interesting trip to meet some other people. I think it's depends on parents how they introduce the situation to the children.
Sure.
But for younger children, they felt that something terrible is happening. So one of my students, Orinka, I know her from 1 year old. Her mommy told me, Natasha, she cannot smile. She doesn't smile, and she cannot have lessons. She wants to see you, but she doesn't reply. She doesn't speak. And what I could do, I was walking around my hometown, and I could just record the video and send her. For example, my dear girl, look, I'm here, and behind me the tram. I mean, I was just commenting everything, and she told me, her mommy told me that she's watching for several times. She can watch the same video over and over. Wow. And it was something small I can give her.
She?
Now she's 4.
Now she's 4. Okay.
She had birthday in the end of March, and they did the record of her toys, balloons.
Okay.
They were at the west part of Ukraine. So, and other students, the oldest, I decided that we will have like 15 minutes, 3 times per week, sometimes 2 times. 2 times per week, twice or 3 times per week, just 15 minutes on Instagram, and we were just talking. We had some games like what would you rather, or as I asked you, what is edible, non-edible. We were just having true or false. I mean, just some short talking. How are you doing? Just ask them if everything is okay. So for them it was just okay. I'm happy that they are just fine. And they back to Kyiv in May, and in the end of May we started our lessons again. I asked parents. They told us, please, let's do something. Online lessons is terrible. It's bad.
Yes,
they don't want the online lessons. So I back to our studio. Actually, the studio parents organized the studio. We bought some tables. I mean, chairs.
Very good. So it's almost back to normal with.
In the end of May, yes, I got some new students.
Okay.
Because before maybe they had other, lessons or something, but also teachers have left from Kyiv.
True. Yeah. There's a lot of people. I know teachers. I know university professors that have left. They're working in Germany and working, elsewhere. So it's. It does put a lot of strain to have so many people not here in Ukraine now.
So many people offered me to go away. I had opportunity to go away. Even my friend, producer of my trio. Well, he's not exact producer. I mean, only in Estonia. He organized concerts for us and concerts in 2015. And he told us, Natasha, please come, take Tanya, my trio friend from trio, and her daughter, and please come, we will find the apartment for you. You will have no needs here. Me and Tanya told me, I don't want to go. And me the same. I would like to travel and see the world. I would like to do it before war. I just had to earn more money to go around and to see the world. But when something terrible happens here in your home, you cannot go away.
No,
you
your
need
thoughts
to stay here.
Entirely consumed. It doesn't matter how effective you can be. You're consumed with everything here, and how much it affects you, and how much it hurts, and it's hard to relax outside. I've had so many friends who were in California. They made it into the United States. They're in Spain. They're in Italy. They're in France. They're in Germany. They're all over, and they say this is not a vacation. This doesn't, I can't relax here. Yeah, I cannot relax here. So
you cannot enjoy it. It's the same if your parents or mom at the hospital and you went to celebrate something.
Yeah.
How is it
how
possible?
do you do that when
your mom is dying? You need to help her to all the best you can do, but you just left to have some fun. Actually, someone is asking me, Natasha, is it okay for you to watch the videos of Ukrainians who are abroad and having fun, or just taking some rest? I said, well, my friends I don't have friends like that. My friends taking care of children, getting back to work in any possibility if they have. But I know that for some people who just maybe a chance to go away and distract themselves. I know, but still inside.
Yeah, they're not.
They want to go home.
Right. Well,
maybe they try to distract themselves.
When you look at social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you look at these different medias, you're only putting your best face forward anyway.
Yeah.
You're not putting your morning first wake up
Sure.
before the makeup on face on there. You're putting your best on everything anyway.
It's
It doesn't
like
matter
with
how
children,
bad
yeah?
you might have lost your job, but you're not posting, I lost my job, and you're not looking all down. You
Some
still
people
put,
do, I guess, but
some
not
do,
we.
right.
We are not
But
doing
the
this.
point is that, yes, they are suffering inside, they are sad inside, because when you actually talk to them, even though they might have had a really nice photo of beautiful palm trees,
But
and
ask them one question, I mean, they will
yeah,
be in tears.
they miss home.
Yeah.
They need to come home. And that's how it affects the children. Like you said, you deal from 4 to 10. My daughter is two and a half now. She's a little more than two and a half. Yeah, she's growing very fast. I thank God for her age now, because she won't know anything. And she's in such a beautiful environment. She's with 350 women and children who all adore her.
Mm-hmm.
She's like the whole world revolves around her, and so
Getting so much love.
yeah, she's getting the love, she's getting the attention, she's learning, she's growing, she's talking Ukrainian, she knows
Super.
some English, and so she's growing all around. She's growing physically. She's becoming stronger, coordinated, blah blah blah. Has no idea what's going on, no emotion. She has no feeling. She has no connection to that whatsoever, which I'm thankful for. Let me deal with that.
Yeah.
Her mom deals with that. Okay, we can deal with that. And
But-
then she gets to grow up in this environment of, security and just joy. And so that when this is all over, when we can get our lives back in line, she's not having to deal
Stress.
with, yeah,
Don't need the psychologist after that. yeah.
correct.
But as I told to some of my friends, I told them, it's a good thing that now some of Ukrainian people who has never been abroad,
Mm-hmm.
they will go to European countries,
Mm-hmm.
they will see the world and the life there, and they will learn something good to bring back.
Yes.
I mean, it's like
Yeah.
a good opportunity for recycling. Some people here in Ukraine is still, we're just on our way to protect our land, to
Mhm,
help to the
yeah.
nature. They will learn some maybe law that you need. I mean, to follow some laws. You know
Mhm.
that it's good to live in the country where people support each other. Well, here we support each other, but I think we need to learn. It's good to share. They will share Ukrainian culture,
Mm-hmm.
and they will take something good for to be more rich here in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
mentally.
Yeah. So, and I know, at least I read that about 70% of people who have left in February and March have returned.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can see that in the normalcy
Too
here in
many
Kyiv.
people here in Kyiv now.
I went to Mega Market today, first time. My first time. That's quite a market. I really like it. It's really nice. It was packed, people everywhere, the shelves were packed, everything, and so, I mean, there's stores, the malls are open, not all of them, but most of them are open. The stores, regular stores, the restaurants, the businesses, cars, traffic is, almost back to
Yes,
normal, which we
back
don't want normal, because the traffic in Kyiv was really gridlocked
But I see
normally.
that people are so brave. After Vinnytsia,
Mhm.
I had little fear. I mean, before I before I enter some complex, I was like, is it dangerous to go inside or no? I mean, after Vinnytsia, so people
Yeah.
are brave. They still want to live, continue their lives.
It's natural. It's natural that we strive for that. We strive for normalcy in our life. We strive for peace in our life. Sometimes, we have to fight for peace, but we still strive for it. So those things are all normal. Someone made a comment to me that some of the soldiers that were out fighting on the front lines, the young soldiers, came back to Kyiv for a period of time, and they became angry. Now, not all the soldiers, but a few of them. They became angry because they look at everybody living a normal life.
Yes.
Now, the person that was telling me that, if I had the opportunity to talk to those soldiers, because I was a soldier, I was a young soldier. I was 18 when I came into the military. All right, I was trained to fight at 18, And so I know what it's like to be young. But, you know, I took on the patriotism. The patriotic heart would say, wow, look what we're doing to allow people to live peacefully.
Peacefully, yeah.
Because, you know, Kyiv was under attack. But our soldiers repelled and pushed Russia back into Belarus and Russia. Yeah, we kicked them out. And of course, we know what happened in Bucha and Irpin and with Chernihiv and we, you know, and Chernobyl. We know what happened in all of those areas, stuff like that. We know the slaughters and the deaths of civilians and everything that happened there after we got them out of there. But the point is, our military protected Kyiv, protected their lives as best as they could, and pushed Russia out of our country in the north. And to cause them to rethink their strategy, and that's why they went on to the east and south and really fortified down there. Russia fortified down there to try to do a new plan. We thwarted that. Who did that? The young soldiers. So don't be angry because you see people smiling walking on the streets in Kyiv. Rejoice because people that are smiling in Kyiv right now are absolutely thankful with hearts of gratitude towards your efforts and sacrifice for protection. You know, so you know, it's what, you know, so that's, and you know, and look at the leadership. We got, you know, Klitschko and Zelensky and everybody, you know, the mayors and the president, and how hard they have worked, you know, to make that happen. You know, we honor all those people because of that, and so there's a normalcy. I mean, we got Lviv, we got Ivano-Frankivsk, we've got here the three big cities. I know Kharkiv is still under pressure. And under attacks, but yet not. There's still large areas of Kharkiv. It's the second largest city in Ukraine, that are still not under attack. So there's still the battle going on. You know, it's just those damn missiles that are, you know, the long range missiles that are being shot in from Russia and from Belarus that are coming in. Those the cruise missiles that are just randomly just going off. You know, we don't have any control over that. But we are pushing Russia out, you know, and so I'm thankful for our soldiers. I'm thankful for the young men. And that's what my message to the young soldiers is, you know, we're proud of you. We as civilians are proud of you. And I am, as a military man who also trains now, military, you know, I am absolutely proud because you are my sons. And I'm proud of the work that you're doing to help, you know, keep Ukraine safe. Yeah.
Good job.
So,
I think that some people could be more thankful even. It's important.
Yeah, everyone has their way of gratitude. So, you know,
for so long, for too long, more than 5 months. It's too long. They are really strong.
Yes.
We are so proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's. I wanted it to end much sooner.
You're a good teacher.
Well, I wish I had more opportunity to affect more.
I think after the war, you don't have to stop teaching. Continue it.
Yeah, well, that's something that I will stress. We have to have a ready.
We cannot trust.
Every
Do you
country,
see our neighbors?
Yeah, we can.
No way to trust.
Every country needs to have a prepared, ready military, and Ukraine should learn from this. Is that training never stops, even in peacetime.
Yeah.
You know.
I think even I was so. It was so shame. My mom she's a doctor, and for me, I was so ashamed that I didn't learn anything like the first help you can give to someone. The moment.
Just the basics, you know, tourniquets, stitching.
Stitching, at least
even
stitching,
CPRs and different things, just to
something to help. If there is a need to help, and I didn't learn anything, so I would like to after work. Even now, I would like to go to some course for the basics.
Teaching, basic medical teaching, field medicine is what we call it. Field medicine is out in the field during the time. So
I will take my friends and
you know, Yarmouth does that actually. So again, that's a wonderful organization. Civilian is an NGO, but it's a wonderful organization, and they actually do teach those courses.
Everyone in Ukraine needs to know something how to help in case the war is here.
And even if the war's not here, you're
my boyfriend is a musician.
somewhere along the line,
I'm a
you're
musician
gonna,
and teach. I mean English, like speaking club teacher, and I realized that in the time of war, I'm nothing. I mean, I can talk to my students. I can cheer them up. But if I'm destroyed, I cannot cheer them up. You know, I need to get energy. To put myself in a better mood, to give a better mood to someone else.
Yes.
And my mom, she was, practically helping someone, and I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
My dad, he is working on the train. He's like in guard on the train station.
Okay.
I mean the bridges.
So he's protecting his.
He's also doing
security.
Yes. He's also doing good thing because we need the
Absolutely.
We need the train.
People need to go through safely.
Railway station.
Yes.
I mean railway. We need, but musicians, it's really hard sometimes to play when you have no way, no emotion to do it.
Yeah, well, as we know in music, I mean, it's good. A passion, and it's.
When we're back to Kyiv, it's good that team was invited, and I went there too, and I didn't expect there to see so many men, and I was a little bit stressful, but they were so kind. It's like you came to your brothers, They were so kind, and they wanted to support you.
He was invited to go to the bases of the military.
Yes.
Like the USO.
Because they are staying there without phones, without talking to their family.
Okay.
And it was so.
Yeah, the entertainment for the USO
was tragedy
is
when
really.
We played to one group of people, and in 3 weeks, when we get back, they told us that big part of that group didn't came back. And it was after that we had also the
emotion, the
heart
devastation.
Is breaking.
Well, same when I train men, and I have to send them out to the front, and my ears are always like, okay, did Yuri, did Slava, did they all come back? Did Roman? I'm just like, did they all? They have to come back, because they're my children now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You have many boys.
Yeah. Figuratively and literally, yes. Well, Natalie, thank you
Mike,
for coming
thank you
and for joining me this evening and talking about this. This is extremely important for us, to know what's going on. I'd like to take the aspects of different directions and different people, different emotions, and different, what's going on. So even my guest next week, is going to be even from a different angle. Everybody handles this completely different, but that you can relate to each individual person. Some of you can relate to me. Some of them will be able to relate to Natalie, and that's the important part of what we hope to do, is to be able to give just a little spark of hope and say, hey, I'm not alone in this. Yeah, I was feeling those things too. Yeah, you're right. I didn't cry the first few days, but then all of a sudden, the fourth and fifth day just became overwhelming to me. And it's just a different aspects of our lives. We handle everything differently, and we have a friend in everybody here. And it is very important to just open up, just talk about it, talk about your fears, talk about your feelings, talk about those things, because that's where you get help. That's where everybody starts having compassion. Because if we hold it in and we keep it buried, all of a sudden there's this overwhelming sense of depression on us. We start to become introverted. We close the doors. We don't see the day of light anymore. And it becomes a very bad spiral downhill. And it's hard to get out of it. We can't always overcome the fears, when you start hearing the bombs going off again. About a month ago or so, when the missiles hit here in Kyiv, and you hear those bombs again, and it's like, oh, okay, I was living in that,
Yes.
And what's going on. And so when you have somebody to open up to and to talk to, it really brings helps in calmness. This is a big big part of overcoming PTSD. PTSD is not going to be overcome over in one night, 2 nights, a week, a month. Everyone's going to be at different levels of it. Some is going to take years, and it's going to take a lot of patience, and it's just going to be really just learning to expose these emotions and fears and those feelings that are inside of us, because all of us want to help. We all have open arms. We all want to hug. We all want to give ourselves and support, and we also need support. We can't just constantly give and not receive. So thank you for joining us this evening. I look forward to. I'll be here next week and with a new guest, and we'll be talking. We don't know what next week's going to really change between now and then. Hopefully, my dream will come true sooner, and then I could be inviting you all to the celebration. So, but we'll know at that time, and I will update you on things that are going on. Again, this is Finance and Investments in Ukraine. That's the title of this program. Obviously, we've taken on a different aspect, covering just the humanitarian side of the war. But, those opportunities are still there. You can actually email me at mike.wilson at andesiteblue.uk co. Jeez, I can't, that thing's confused me. .uk.co. So you can email me on that, and I can actually talk more about those on a private level of the the investment opportunities. These are opportunities that actually is going to help Ukraine, and also opportunities of growth and everything. So they're good opportunities for your own personal investments and growth. All right, well, have a good evening, and we will see you again next week.